Welcome to the Bold Analysis. My name is Frank Oduor. Of course, we are still following up on the demise of the KDF soldiers, and our center of focus is on General Francis Ogola's demise and the burial preparations that are underway, the various condolences messages that are being sent by various leaders that is across the political divide, and other international leaders that are still sending their condolences. Also, us here at Bold, we are still sending our condolences to the families, the loved ones of Francis Ogola and the other soldiers who perished within the crash. Now, there are some latest developments that have ensued following the death of General Francis Ogola. And of interest, and our focus today is on Azimio's leadership visit to the home of Major Francis Ogola here in Nairobi, and of course the President's visit and other high-ranking members within the government, that is members of the cabinet, the various leadership of the various houses within the government. Now, our area of particular interest is opposition leaders, Raila Odinga's visit. Of course, he was accompanied by a big Azimio team, Martha Karua, who is the Kenyan leader, also a member of the Azimio team. We had Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, who is the Wiper leader, also a member of the Azimio team. We had Siaya Governor, who is the host governor of where the burials will be conducted, that is Honorable or His Excellency James Orengo, also within the same event. We saw Muhoroni MP, Honorable Koyo, Lego Usonga MP, who is also a host MP, Mr. Samuel Atandi, Rosa Buyu, former Kakamega County Governor, who is also ODM Deputy Party Leader, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. We had Millie Odhiambo, we had Jeremiah Kioni, and former Murang'a Governor Mwangi Wairia present at the event at General Francis Ogola's home here in Nairobi. And they were meeting with the family of Ogola to present their condolences to the family. And as you can see in this video, they've been welcomed here. You can see them condoling with the wife of the late Ogola here in Nairobi. Now, after this, the team proceeded to address the press. And this address was made by NAK Kenya leader Martha Karua, who read the statement on behalf of the Azimio team. And I just want you to have a look at what Honorable Martha Karua did say at this event.
It's our statement on the tragic helicopter accident that claimed the life of General Francis Omondi Ogola, Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, and 9 officers. Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition joins all Kenyans and indeed the world in grieving the tragic loss of the Chief of Kenya Defence Forces, General Francis Omondi Ogola. The General passed on yesterday as a result of a tragic helicopter crash at Kaben-Chepturel boundary between Elgeyo Marakwet and West Pokot counties. General Ogola died in the course of duty alongside 9 other officers, Major George Benson Magondu, Brigadier Swale Said, Colonel Duncan Keitani, Lieutenant Colonel David Sawe, Captain Sora Mohammed, Captain Hilary Litali, Senior Sergeant John Kenyua Mureithi, Sergeant Cliffons Omondi, and Sergeant Rose Nyawera. This is devastating, not only to the country, but more to their families. Fortunately, the brutal hand of death left behind 2 unidentified survivors whom we wish a speedy recovery. We also ask that they be secured and afforded the best treatment that we can afford. We will always remember Gen Ogola as a devout patriot and dedicated soldier to the Republic of Kenya from the day he graduated. He has been through multiple tours of duty and ultimately, as the top soldier in Kenya, the Chief of Defense Forces, the CDF. He was revered by his colleagues at home and abroad. He has had a service of 40 years. Kenya's 11th CDF was a focused visionary whose impact on our disciplined forces, indeed our nation, will be greatly missed. To Gen Ogola's family and the families of the other fallen soldiers, we offer our deepest condolences. At this most difficult moment, we stand with them and our prayers are with them. As Azimio, we are deeply concerned that the Kenya Defense Forces have had several other accidents in the last 12 months, including yesterday's tragic crash. Just a minute, and we are saying that this must be thoroughly investigated. We are aware that it is the Kenya Defense Forces that secures the flights of their commander-in-chief, as well as of their top officer, who is the CDF, the Chief of Defense Forces. They have done so successfully since independence, and yesterday's accident was unprecedented. We are therefore saying that this is of great concern to Kenyans. It needs serious investigation, and it raises pertinent concerns about our the safety of our airspace and especially of our disciplined forces. We need a serious relook into our security equipment, especially the aircraft, and we need to undertake a complete overhaul. Yesterday's unfortunate accident needs expeditious investigations, and this will not only help ease the already tense and anxious feelings of Kenyans, but it will put an end to any speculation. The investigations must be open and reports made to the public. We also wish to ask the Ruto administration to consider the welfare of our disciplined forces and their families. And we suggest that in commemoration of Gen Ogola and the brave soldiers who died yesterday, and the countless unsung heroes, the Disciplined Forces Welfare Fund should be established as soon as possible to address the well-being of our disciplined forces. The questions Kenyans are asking, in conclusion, is whether it is routine for the Chief of Defense Forces to go and inspect construction of classrooms. Was this a plan had within the military, or was it a directive? There are many questions which beg answers. Even the visual images of that accident, I don't want to say anything more that may prejudice investigations. They leave us with anxiety, and answers are needed as soon as possible. Once again, our deepest condolences to the families of General Ogola and the 8 gallant officers who perished with him, and our prayers for quick recovery for the 2 survivors.
Now, moments later, President Ruto's convoy drove through the general's home, accompanied by cabinet members for a prayer service. As you can see on your screens, That is President Ruto's convoy streaming in, coming in. And ordinarily, what was expected was that President Ruto's team would meet with the opposition's team at the home of General Francis Ogola, and thereafter have a joint prayer service, as we had expected. That is part of the praise, and part of the general public had expected that. But now, out of the blues, we see that the top leadership of the Azimio that was initially present there wasn't there. I don't know whether they vanished or where they headed to, and the only faces that could now be seen is that of Siaya Governor Honorable James Orengo and Lego Usonga MP Mr. Samuel Atandi. Even though Orengo did acknowledge that Honorable Raila Odinga did instruct them to remain behind and ensure that they receive President William Ruto together with other high government officials that were supposed to attend the event. But then I don't know, we read some sort of malice in this, and that is our main center of focus today, because before that I want to hear Orengo speak on the instructions that he was given by Raila Odinga.
Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, all the leadership of our defense forces who are here, Elaine and the family, and the religious leaders who are here, honorable members of Parliament. I think many of us are lost for words for what to say today. We are here a little earlier, Your Excellency, together with Raila Odinga, with a team of MPs. And I want to let you know that Raila Odinga asked me with Atandi, Honorable Atandi, to make sure that we are here when you arrive to receive you, and that when you come to Siaya, we will also receive you in Siaya. Sometimes it's very difficult to deal with grief, especially when it's so tragic. But I've many times said, sometimes that grief unites us, just like we are united in grief here today. And I think that in our republic, we need gallant sons and patriots. And many of us agree that General Ogola was a patriot and was a gallant soldier, as the Archbishop has said. I have had times that I've met him in the village, even in funerals, but you would not think that he was a general. He'll just be one of the people in the village. I hope that in grieving the General Ogola, we would appreciate patriotism and being Kenyans, just like we are united in grief today. I hope that a lot of what he desired, like he was to have a function in Siaya, in Alego, that many of you who spoke to him and knew his desires for the people, that you remember what he desires for the people of Kenya and for Siaya. Mheshimiwa Murkomen was just telling me that he had desired to have an airstrip in Siaya. So I hope, Your Excellency, next time the Air Force One is landing in Siaya, you'll have a place to land in to accomplish the desires of a great departed son. I also hope that in this time of grief and in fellowship, you have fellowship in grief, we can grow stronger in faith and make sure that Kenya becomes a better country that we all desire.
And they wanted to celebrate his life. And of course, the bad news came. And it took me a while. But then I asked Duale, please call somebody on the ground. And he told me there was a major and a brigadier on the ground. And I wanted to speak to them because it was not easy to believe that General Ogola was gone. If there is one appointment that I made that I am very proud of, it is that of General Ogola. Because he deserved the appointment. And he was a professional.
Now, in this video, we want to explain to you why Raila team decided not to share the podium with that team or the team of President William Ruto. One here, we believe that maybe the opposition leaders, they are not buying the version of the government over Ogola's death. You know, there are a lot of speculations currently, a lot of conspiracy theories about the death of General Francis Ogola, especially from the members of his Luo community, who are seeing this as maybe a scheme or an alleged orchestrated move by some people whom are yet to be known. So maybe the opposition wanted to avoid a situation in which they would be having a spat with their followers. Maybe this would have been a direct endorsement that maybe the government versions of the earlier causatives of this accident, that they are in agreement with this. So maybe the government, the opposition, that is, was trying to be separate from the government so that it could not be seen that they are in tandem or they are in agreement with the government over what caused the chopper crash yesterday that claimed the life of General Francis Ogola, whom at the time of his death was 61 years of age. Of course, it would just automatically be out of common sense. It would be common sense that if the two teams could be seen, especially after the presser that was issued by Honorable Martha Karua, it would be likely be seen that the opposition actually agrees with the government that indeed whatever happened, they are now convinced that the investigations are taking the right course. You see, the current situation in Kenya, or over the past years, the history of executions or deaths of senior figures have always been shrouded in controversy, and a lot of theories have always emerged, and the government has been promising of transparent investigations. Of course, some of these investigations have been released, their findings to the public, and in most cases you'd find that the public always agrees or they disagree in entirety with the findings. So I think for one, the opposition was trying to avoid a situation or an instant like this. Then two, we believe that maybe the opposition or the team that was led by Honorable Raila Odinga, Martha Karua, Jeremiah Kioni, Kalonzo Musyoka, Wycliffe Oparanya, and other leaders that were presently were presently there at General Ogola's home, they don't want to be seen as to as if they are buying the government's version of the investigations. You know, the government said that already they've dispatched a team from the Kenya Air Force to go investigate the crime scene and inform Kenyans on what actually happened. Maybe they are planning maybe to come up with other claims that maybe the investigations are not transparent or they are not clear. So at this particular juncture, if they could be seen together with the government, you know where the president is, that is the government. It could be seen that already they are in agreement that the particular course of action that the government or the steps that the government is putting in place to ensure that these investigations come out transparently, that they are already in agreement with whatever the course of direction that the government is taking. Now, somebody would want to also to say that what of in a situation that the investigations are now over, they're now through, and the government has given out a report that actually this is what happened, this is what led to an event one after the other, and maybe they wouldn't be in agreement with that, and if they would be seen at this particular juncture with the government at the same place, then it would in the same manner be said that why were you in the same place at the first time and now you are not in the same place, or you are in a disagreement state with the government of the day? And now, 3, I also tend to think that Raila Odinga as a political brand in Kenya is trying to be very cautious with the public reactions. You know, the 2027 general elections are here, and he has not made it clear as to whether he'll be vying or he will not be vying. And you know the most affected, we know the whole country is affected, of course, by the news of the death of General Francis Ogola, but now there are also members who are from his immediate community, that is the Luo community, and that is the Raila's biggest support base. Wouldn't they see him as a traitor now that they've not come to terms with the death of General Francis Ogola? Raila would otherwise be seen as a traitor by the general Luo community. And this also, not only the 2027 general elections, his current bid for the AUC membership would be seen that now it's like he's in bed, completely in bed with the government, and he still wants to maintain that he is actually the face of the opposition in Kenya, and that is a force to be reckoned with on his own, and that he doesn't have to rely on the support of the government of the day. Another reason, that is reason number 4, this is the point number 4 that I want you to listen to very keenly. Kenya Kwanza leaders, that is a majority of the MPs from the Kenya Kwanza battalion, they are very notorious for one thing, that is humiliation and politics, where politics are not supposed to be. So maybe, according to the advisors or the handlers of the former premier Raila Odinga, maybe they had private information that he would be likely be subjected to a public spot humiliation, where you'd find that, as per the protocol, it would be ideal if somebody of the caliber of Prime Cabinet Secretary, that is Musalia Mudavadi, or the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, would introduce Raila in this similar event. But then, with the current with their trend of politicizing everything, maybe they were much aware that somebody of a caliber of an MP or even lower would be given the opportunity to introduce Raila before they move up the ladder. That could be one of the reasons as to why Raila's team did leave the area shortly after talking to the press, and leaving behind, of course, the host governor, that is Honorable James Orengo, and the host MP, Honorable Samuel Atandi. And actually, another thing that we did note is that this was the first time that the opposition was coming together, actually, after a long period of public speculations over the unity, Raila's AUC bid, his alleged agreement with President William Ruto on working, and of course, as we await for the NADCO report that is currently being awaited for so that the findings can be made public. So, and also, this, as I've said, that this is the first time that we are seeing them together. We've seen Jeremiah Kioni, we've seen Martha Karua, who is the NARC Kenya leader. We've seen Wycliffe Oparanya. We've seen Raila Odinga, of course, representing other leaders who are also there. We've seen the likes of Siaya Women Rep Christine Ombaka there. So this would should of course communicate some message to you. that maybe on this the opposition will be united in demanding for answers, or demanding for findings into what might have actually caused the crash of the plane that was carrying the CDF of the Defense Forces Major Francis Ogola, who is also said to be laid to rest. That is on Saturday, according to his will that he had written, that he wishes that his remains be interred within 72 hours of his death. Of course, the government has agreed to this. And another thing that he did write in his will is that he doesn't want to be buried in a coffin. He just wants some simple burial, so that he is just buried as a simple man. That is according to his will, of course, that has been read by his brother, Canon Hezekiah. And also, there was a letter that was earlier released by Raila's secretariat, calling on Ruto and the government to fast-track the investigations. You see, in this letter, we had covered it earlier. In this letter, the Azimio, or the Azimio leader, Raila Odinga, is demanding for transparent, speedy, and clear investigations into the cause of the death of General Francis Ogola. So, Raila, being at this specific event, having released an earlier press statement, would be contradicting it in itself, because if he has spoken on the investigations, then it would mean that maybe it's just speaking for the sense of being seen. But then his letter and his particular stand would tell us something, that maybe they read some mischief in the death or in the air crash that claimed the life of Major Francis Ogola. That marks the end of our analysis on this. Thank you.